Now that we've included our JSX transformer, we can define a script tag in here in which we will write all of our React code. So beneath the body tag, we'll define a new script tag, and we'll specifically say that its type is text/JSX. And then we'll close it like so. So what happens is when the browser opens its index.html document, the JSX transformer does a scan over all the tags in the document. If it finds any script tags of type text/JSX, it automatically converts them into raw vanilla JavaScript, which can be executed by the browser. So you could kind of imagine that any JSX code that we write in here is automatically going to be transpiled by this transformer before the browser actually interprets it and tries to execute it. Okay, so we've now got our libraries and we've got a place to write our JSX code. A couple of events are going to happen here very quickly, so before they pass us up, let's list them out so that we know exactly what to expect. The events that are going to occur here are generally the same in every React app out there. First, we're going to define a React component class. And we'll talk exactly about what a class is. Next, we will ask React to render this class. And finally, when we ask React to render this class, we will tell it where to place the rendered element in the DOM. Okay, so first, a class. What is a component class? A class is a component or a widget or a view or really whatever all-encompassing term you want to use. A React class is a definition of a component. This class itself cannot be rendered to HTML. It must be first instantiated and then rendered. Instantiate is really a key word here. A good analogy is a cookie cutter. A cookie cutter itself is useless. It just describes the shape and form of a cookie. It is not until we throw some dough on the board and then press the cookie cutter into it that we actually get a usable object, which is the dough in our cookie cutter shape. The cookie cutter can create as many cookies as you could possibly imagine, but the cookie cutter itself cannot be eaten. So again, the class here is like the cookie cutter. It describes the form and function of a component, but it cannot itself be rendered to the DOM. We must first instantiate it or spin off or create a copy of the class and then render that copy, that instantiated class. So let's write the code that defines our cookie cutter, or class really, and then spins it off and instantiates it. Okay, we'll write var hello world equals react.createClass, and then we'll pass it an object like so. This defines or creates a new class and assigns it to the variable hello world. Next, we're going to render or instantiate this class. So we'll write var element equals react.createElement hello world. So we now have two variables at the ready. The first one, hello world, is the React class, our cookie cutter. This class describes the form and function of a component with some options that will pass inside this object in the future. So it doesn't really define anything just now, but will very shortly add a lot more functionality to it. Note that the class itself is defined with the createClass method on the React object. Secondly, we have our element, which is the cookie cutter, the cookie dough cutout. Great analogy here, I know. Or instance of the hello world class. This is created with the function createElement as opposed to createClass. It just takes a class that we create and then instantiates a copy out of it, and then we assign it to element. Now that we've finished the first two steps of our three-step process here, let's take a quick break and continue with figuring out how to tell React to render the element and place it in the DOM somewhere.